talk about the reason and motivation for going this route as Operation Dudula. I'm asking this because as citizens, I mean, you hear the issue of service delivery issues. I'm going to reiterate once again, when citizens are fed up and the authorities do not listen, who's supposed to take over? But have you, in your grassroots engagements, tried to engage with any government authorities, any relevant authorities? What are some of the responses that you receive when you actually try to go the legal route before you undertake your raiding actions?
Let me take you back when Operation Dudula was formed. Our very first march was to the city of Joburg because it started in Joburg. And one of our demands was that we want the city to reclaim back the properties because they need to be turned into RDP houses. I mean, the situation was not as bad as it is today. That was one of the demands, to say that we want to help. How do we help each other claim the hijacked properties in the CBDs? But no one listened to us. I mean, we've been to all the departments. We marched to the Department of Home Affairs. We've marched to even the president himself. We went to the union buildings and we handed over a memorandum that, you know, we even asked that, can we have a state of emergency when it comes to immigration? Because it's out of hand now.
What report back are you getting?
We're not getting any report back, not even an acknowledgement of our memorandum. But hey, you would see the president all over talking about how we are vigilantes. And yet we are trying to...
Have you been necklacing people during your parades? Have you been killing people? Are there people that are maybe hijacking some of your protest action as vigilantes and making it as if it's Operation Dudula that is actually necklacing those individuals?
There was xenophobic attacks before Operation Dudula was born.
Yes.
Ever since Operation Dudula was born, we try by all means to act within the confines of the law. You'd see in all our operations, because we apply for Section 205 when we have our marches and operations, and we are granted permission to go. That's why you will see visibility, police visibility.
Is this the Section 205 that the police were squabbling with you about yesterday? What happened there? Because apparently you said you had the documents and you couldn't produce the documents.
No, the documents we're talking about were the documents of the victims, that they are the rightful owners of the properties. And they have been, some of them have been to court to fight for these properties. But because they are being bullied by foreigners, that's why they're still unable to occupy their homes. Now, the 205, we did not apply for 205 because that was not a march. That was an operation. So we were at a meeting point, moving from point A to point B to the houses, and it was not a march. So we didn't want to close any streets, and, you know, sometimes maybe our police also need to go back and they must be educated with their own laws, because it seems like they don't even understand. They don't even know that we as citizens can effect citizens' arrest. So every time when you talk about citizens' arrest, they're like, like we're talking about, it's news to them. So the government really needs to do something, because while we will not just watch our country go down the drain, because our children will suffer. And things are getting bad every day. I mean, you go to the CBDs, not just Joburg, any CBD, you'll notice that most of the people that are there are foreign nationals.
Look, let's talk about, maybe in closing, Zandile, I mean, how are you disciplining your members when you go on these raids? And also, what are you told when you ask for, like, police assistance or, you know, accompaniment, just an escort to come with you to those areas? Because we also saw similar action pertaining to some of the health facilities in and around, in fact, the whole country in particular this week.
Now, I'm glad that you're saying the whole country, because now this is a sign that South Africans are really up to here. I mean, we always ask for permission when we go to these operations, but we are denied. Then we tell them that now that you don't want us to do them, can we see you do them? But they do nothing about them. This very same Rosettenville incident and the operations, we've sent emails to the station commander to say that on this day we will have such an operation. Can you please escort us or accompany us so that we can pinpoint the houses?
So you can furnish us with that if we actually even ask you.
We have all the proof, because I was even referred to the provincial office, and the provincial office said, no, that's at the level of a station. And we did just that. We report. I mean, we act within the confines of the law. It's just that we have a government that does not have a will to deal with the immigration issue. And I don't know why is it that the president can see that the country is going down the drain, but he decides to turn a blind eye. Maybe he needs to come out and tell us that, you know what, I don't want to deal with this issue. I am not for South Africans. You guys can see how you sort yourselves out, because we cannot have a president that will prioritize foreign nationals over us. I mean, even now, he's busy fighting the Palestine and Israel fights, you know, seeking for peace there. But the same thing that's happening in that country, it's going to happen here in South Africa, because we have more foreigners and it looks like we are being overnumbered now. The foreign nationals that are in this country,